What's good? Santi back with another video. So the last one I was doing, it got cut short, and it was supposed to be semen retention and the authentic self part 5. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just make this one 6. But yeah, like what I have been talking about, just in terms of the authentic self, and semen retention, is that ultimately it's a change in your self-image. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're stepping away from just the mental aspect and the material, physical aspect, and going into that part of yourself that is non-physical, which is energy. You know what I'm saying? So, going through a breakup and things like that can make you more conscientious of your energy, the type of people that you allow in your space, and establishing boundaries, because I was having a conversation, the homie that I've been having a conversation with, which has been pretty much the gist of these videos, is, with him and like my brother, it's like, you know, we find ourselves, we'll find ourselves in positions where, and this happens to a lot of guys, like when you're in that first, long-term like relationship. And of course, when I went through my experience, this wasn't my first one. This was probably like my second one, but it took a different note because of just the type of person that I was dealing with, but one thing about it, being authentic is like, too many of us sacrifice ourselves for the gratification of another, what I'm saying, for like the love and the validation, and you shouldn't have to go through all of that in order to get a person to see your value and for them to view you as having meaning in their life, and when you find yourselves on the receiving end of a breakup, and you're forcing, you're trying to make the situation other than what it is, and you're not standing back and looking at things logically and going back inward, you end up wasting precious time and energy and hurting yourself in the long run, because your attachment to this person ultimately keeps you from seeing the fact that you need to step back and go inward. You need to focus on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And we can lose ourselves to those relationships and forget who we are because of the sexual attachment, ego attachment, and all of the things that we perceive in our mind. Ultimately, it's a shot to who we are as men. It's a shot to our ego, because when a woman breaks up with us, it makes us feel less than. It makes us feel inferior. And we have to we get into that frame of mind. It's like, well, I gotta have her. I gotta get her back. Thoughts can run into your mind like, oh, a lot of them are fear-based and they're ego-based. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you won't realize the true reason why you want to get back with her is not based on anything that's grounded in reality. It's all fear. It's rooted in fear and a false self-image. You have pretty much allowed this person to be the basis for which you understand yourself. So you're understanding yourself through their eyes. But if they haven't given you a clear indication as to why they didn't want to be in a relationship with you, then you could be running through all of these scenarios in your head and conjuring up reasons, if you're not aware of it, that actually aren't. They may not necessarily be the reason why she broke up with you, but it can keep you in a rat race. You know what I'm saying? This cat and mouse chase to try to get their validation, and in the end, you're only gonna subjugate yourself to being manipulated and disrespected, because you chasing after a woman and get her back in a relationship with you is you being more in your feminine energy, but it's a lack of being grounded in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that a person who is aligned with themselves and knows who they are, you won't go to those links to the point where you're going against your own morals and ethics just to get that person back. And that's not authenticity. Saying things so that they'll feel a certain way about you. Doing things like you buying flowers and buying her gifts so that she'll like you. That's not being authentic. You know what I'm saying? Authenticity is based on an understanding that is reflective of who you are as an individual in a spiritual and in basis, you know? And so when a guy can step back and look at the breakup and see the things that didn't work, hold himself accountable, hold her accountable, don't view them and get out of that place where it's like they were perfect, they didn't do anything wrong, you know? And don't settle for being a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't settle for being a friend with anybody just because you're afraid of how they may view you or you're afraid of losing that person. Some relationships you can't get back. Some relationships are, you know, like they're invaluable. You know what I'm saying? And so if you're dealing with a girl, you know, and she don't want to see your value, you got to get to that point where it's like, okay, all right. You know, like it's not worth everything that you're putting yourself through to get this woman. You feel me? Like it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all if you could see that. Just got finished working out. Probably gonna hit another set, but yeah, like think about it. You're calling her, you're texting her, you're hawking her, you know, stalking her, hawking and stalking her social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I'm gonna do another part of this video.